What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Doing all right.
Oh, good. Yeah, there we go. We got some volume going. So, what's up, man? How was work today?
Work was great. Sold three.
Wow, that's insane. So, how did you do that?
I think I had three appointments. One canceled. I normally set them up like early in the morning. So I first one came in at like 9:15. It was a lease return, pretty easy. She was out in like an hour or something like that.
Okay.
And then I made some calls between then and maybe 10:30. Took a fresh up, sold that one, and then the one I had an appointment like 3:15 coming in to look at a used car, and I sold that one as well.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Used cars are the best, right? Because there's only one of
Oh yeah,
them, and it's like, it's such a deal. They're always a deal,
oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome, man. So, are you an internet or what are you doing? Just making a bunch of calls?
I'm on the sales floor.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, you're just making a bunch of appointments on the sales floor, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook, so I get a lot of customers from Facebook coming in, and then I do like flyers for myself. So, for example, I do like little post pass
Oh
outs,
yeah,
and I
that's
put
super cool.
yeah,
Check that out,
right,
guys.
and I do like bigger sizes, and then I actually have some stores, some restaurants that I put my stuff in, and
Wow.
people around the area.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's like the big dogs that you read books on and stuff. Like all those guys selling 100 cars a month. That's what they do.
Oh yeah, I just found this guy, uh, Frank Sinite, something like that.
Okay.
From some kind of Honda. Dude does like 100, man. Yeah,
Wow, that's insane. Yeah.
yeah,
That's crazy, man. Just referrals and referrals and referrals. Just follows
absolutely.
up with people like crazy. Yeah. So, what's up, man? How'd you hear about me? I saw your energy. I think I follow you on social media and stuff. So I always like keep up with my guys and people who follow me. So, um, yeah, man. How'd you run into me? Just typed it in YouTube or?
YouTube. So I do a lot of YouTube. Kind of, always learning, always trying to get better. Picking up tips here and there. And I've seen that you're one of the only persons that are out there that are consistent with making the videos. Specific for the car sales industry, which is pretty great. And you always have something that could help. I think I'm a decent salesperson. I think I'm really good. But that being said, you're always gonna pick up on something. Somebody's always gonna have another way that could give you another five cars here, another five cars there. That could really
Yeah,
make you
yeah.
money.
Nothing pumps me up, man, more than having somebody do a session with me and they've already been selling cars 2 years, and then they message me the next day saying I used your clothes, I used this, like I wouldn't have sold this car if I didn't do that session. So I always look back like after 2 3 years I thought I was like, man, there's nothing else I could learn. I know
Exactly.
everything. And it's like it's funny because you know everything that you know. I know that sounds weird, but it's like
Yeah.
once I realized there's stuff out there that I thought I knew everything because I didn't know about that. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
it's crazy how that works. You think like, okay, I learned everything, but there's just so much more that goes into it. And
There's a lot of information, man. There's a lot of stuff out there. I feel like every single time I watch a video that you put out, there is one bit of information that I had no idea about before, that I learned that could possibly help me to close the next deal.
oh, that's awesome, man. That's good. Okay, cool, cool. That's good to hear. So, usually my training sessions, we get like right into it, but I know like you're the winner. You posted me on Instagram and Facebook or something like that.
Yep.
I think you had a
Yep.
pretty big following too, like 4,000 or something, right?
Yeah, somewhere close to there. Yep.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, good for you. Did you have any questions that I could probably answer for you?
Yes.
You can say
Yes.
what's up
So
to
so
YouTube, by the way.
so I think I've been thinking about this question for like forever. So multiple times in the videos I've heard you say, so, I come in, I do from maybe 9 to maybe 8 to like 11 more work than anybody else because I make all my calls. I do 100 calls, something along the lines of like 50 text message, something like that. Something along that line. So my question is, 100 calls to who, and 50 text messages to who? I just wanted to have an idea of like who you're texting, what the course of action is.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about what I do. Okay. So you're saying the 100 calls I make and the text messages I send. Okay. So I'm not like some big guy who like loves calling people. I can't stand calling people, and I think that in the car business, people on the floor, good salesmen like yourself, they constantly, they get ups and they work the ups the best they can. And if they don't sell them that day and they know they're a good salesperson, calling them the next day or 2 days later, it sucks. So people on the floor hate sales. So that's not the kind of calls that I like. I like calls like, fresh leads where you're like, hey, it's still available. Do you need information, or did you just want to come in and take a look? Now, I live in an area where it's pretty busy, so when I go to this dealership and I start getting leads, sometimes it's, 3 or 4 leads in the morning, and 4 leads a day for 30 days. That's 120 phone calls, like solid leads. So my organizer does like build up and stuff like that. But besides my organizer, like if I didn't have that or anything, I still have access to like service appointments. Now, anybody who's like not in the market really, like they're not like in the market to buy a car, those people, I'm more of like, if they were like 3 or 4 months ago, okay, I'm gonna call those people. But or if they're coming off their lease, so there's like a little search button. And like I got really good at just finding ways to find customers in the system. So I could, look at that search button, put it today, and then like 4 months from today, and find everybody coming off their lease that got a car from us. They all got their lease from us. I can find like right when it's ending, and then just have the perfect thing to say. You're gonna get an extra $1,000 with us. We're gonna waive that fee of $595. So, that's $1,600, whatever. So I'll call those people. Any weak salesmen that come into the dealership, you better not forget it. Like anybody they upped and didn't close, and then obviously didn't follow up with, I'm going to call them. I'm going to call them and be like, hey, how did Jordan take care of you? Okay, great. So why didn't you buy a car? Was it the car or was it the price? The price. Okay. That's why I'm calling. I just got a bunch of dealer cash for the weekend, about $40,000. I can't use it all on you. You'd get the car for free, but maybe I could use a few $100s here or there to make a deal. How far away were we? Like, was there a certain payment you wanted to be at? And they'd be like, oh, and then I just rework the deal, without me even having the test drive or nothing. If it's been 6-7 days and nobody followed up, that's a full deal for me and not a lot of work, I'm not the guy that says right after 72 hours or on the 4th day, but if it's been like 6, 7, 8 days, maybe I'll give them a ring or something before they go buy somewhere else, So, I mean, people like that, and then anybody who's not in the market, I'm a big fan of texting those people. So just shooting out a bunch of text. Hey, you got, I saw you got a car from us like 3 years ago. And we'd love to buy it back. We're very interested in it. It's around tax season, whatever you want to say. And I'll give you top dollar for your car. And if you find something you like, pretty much we want your car, but if you find something you like, I'll discount it down for you. Is that something you'd be interested in? And just, yes, 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 send out a whole bunch of text, and then just copy and paste it. Not a lot of work, but you're hitting a lot of people.
Yeah, awesome. Nice. So it's more, it's like a template that you have, and then you just copy and paste it.
You write up your own template, nothing crazy, just something quick, and it always ends in like a question, like a close. Like, is that something you'd be interested in? And it's not too much about what you say. It's like how many people you say it to. I think what you say is pretty important as well. But, the people who are like still in the market or like were 3-4 months ago, those are the people you want to find out why they didn't buy and, solve objections. So I'd probably call them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome, man.
Yeah. So, what about getting people in over the phone? It seems like you're pretty good at that. Any questions about that or?
Over the phone, I would ask. I think but I wouldn't say bothers me, but what I think I'm not the strongest at would be emails, right?
Okay.
And I saw one of the recent videos. I think it was sometime early this month or last month that you were saying, people that email the most sell the most cars, and that kind of thing. And that seems to be the direction that the business is headed in, given that people are looking for that instant gratification where, yeah, give me the numbers up front, let me know, I'll look at it, and then I'll let you know. So, any tips on emailing?
So I don't think I think the people who sell the most email, I'm guessing they email as well. I don't think it's just from email. But I think that there's a group of people, maybe like 15, 20% sometimes that really just email. Like some people I have in the military, they can't use their phone. They can only email. A lot of ladies working, they're on the computers. I feel like they email a lot. And like there's so many salespeople that don't reply and just can't email back and forth. They just don't enjoy it, or they don't waste their time is what they think they're wasting time. So when you do that and you're the only person, it just makes the sale like so much easier, and they have no choice but to buy from you. Like I get all the time after I sell a car and set the appointment and everything, like, hey, listen, nobody else emailed me back but you. That's why I'm here. So, easy sale kind of thing. I probably get, at least 3 to 5 deals like that a month, and it's not like I'm emailing all month,
Yeah.
But I think it's powerful if you can find a big group of people and send a template like we talked about in texting, but send something like that to imagine you could hit all of 500 people or 1,000 people and just blast an email. So I think it's just good to learn little things like that might take a minute to learn, but once you learn them, it's like something nobody does, and it's extremely quick but effective.
Yeah, nice, awesome. So more along the lines of like an email blast, get all the email addresses together and just kind of send one thing out and see what comes out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And getting really good at building excitement in your messages is very important.
Nice.
That's called
awesome.
copywriting is what they call that. Copywriting. It's building emotion, building a relationship, something that's going to sell somebody just through words though, which is pretty powerful. Because face-to-face talking, you can get someone excited, but one-on-one, I'm trying to be on a different level than that. I'm trying to be me sending something to 500 people and getting all of them excited the same day, so.
Yeah.
Thinking bigger.
That's great.
What about getting people in over the phone? If I was like, hey, what's your, I see this car online, I see the internet price, what's your best price? What are you going to say?
So you're looking online for a car, and you're saying, you're asking me for the best price over the phone.
Yeah, bring the camera up if you can, and say what's up to YouTube. I'm probably gonna post this, so.
Oh, nice. What's going on YouTube?
Hey, go follow him. What's your Instagram?
Ask for Shaq.
Ask for Shaq. Any underscores or something?
No.
Okay.
No, Ask for Shaq.
Ask for Shaq. I'll put it on the screen. Cool. All right. So, what would you say? What's your best price over the phone? Not to put you on the spot, but.
No, we're good. Okay, so I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Awesome, sir. So I could calculate the price for you. Let me just get your information so I could put you in the system here. What's your first name?
Well, I just want the price. Yeah, I didn't want to put myself in the system and get phone calls. What's your best price? Is that internet your best price, or what's the best price?
Well, how it works is that we actually have discounts that you might not see on the internet that you probably qualify for. So putting you in the system is going to give me a better understanding of that. For example, there's military discounts, and there is discounts for places that you work, like Costco discounts that we have available. So in order for me to get you the actual best price for the car, I'd like to find out a little bit more about you by putting you in the system and seeing if there's any discount that you're eligible for that you wouldn't be able to take advantage of, because I don't have the information.
Okay, cool. All right, so I like your answer. So sometimes people will be like, okay, so there's 2 ways that I handle phone calls like that. So if someone's like, if they're like, wow, that price is crazy, like that's a really good price. Is that like the real price? Like when I come in, is it going to change? And I'll just explain to them in a way they can understand. So I'll say, well, you know, all the discounts come from the store. So you get all of those. And then the rebates, that comes from the manufacturer. So every make and model that, you know, you look at is always going to have military. That's $500. Most of the rebates is dealer cash, and everybody gets around the same price. But one of the reasons why I picked this store is just I did a lot of research, and I wanted to be at a store where I gave out numbers and nobody else could beat it. So that's the reason I picked this store. But if you like the car, I'll make sure you like the price. What's a good day and time for you to come in and take a look? So something like that. Or somebody sees my internet price and they're like, hey, I see the car and I see the price. What's your best price, your bottom line price? Well, Shaq, this is our #1 price that we can advertise online. Obviously, you know, if we didn't advertise our #1 price, somebody would be lower and you guys would go there. But you saw this price. It's probably the best price that you've seen so far. That's why you called. And that's the best price that we advertise and the best price I'm able to tell you. But your presence is your leverage. So if you come in and you like the car, I'll make sure you like the price. So I pretty much say #1 price that we can advertise, and that's the best price I'm allowed to tell you, but your presence is your leverage. So if you like the car, I'll make sure you like the price. Were you able to come in today or something like that?
Oh, nice. Awesome. No, I love that one.
And then I think, you know, doing your, it's kind of, it gives them hope, because when you kill hope, there's a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, that's our best price. Now, I think one thing I could pick at with you is what you did is it seemed like a process, you know, and people hate processes, you know, they don't want to go through a process of giving information. So I think that you'll separate yourself from the typical salespeople if you just keep it to like keeping emotions high, you know what I mean? And explaining why you're the best price. And when you say stuff like, I did my research before I came here, all the client that you're talking to is hearing is, I don't have to do my research, he already did it for me. You got what I'm saying? I don't have to shop. This makes sense. He shopped everywhere. He didn't want to hand out price and somebody else was better. He wanted to be at the #1 dealership. So what do you sell currently?
Toyota.
Okay, so yeah, I'd be like, I did a lot of research before picking this Toyota store. I wanted to be at the #1 Toyota store when it came to price. I didn't want to hand out pricing and somebody would be $500 or even $1,000 less than my price. That's why I picked this store. I actually passed the Toyota on the way here. See that? Like something like that. So it's just strong. It's like, oh wow, like he's not playing around kind of thing. So I think that helps out a lot. And it gets people in, you know, and always just building emotion, like building value and getting people excited, you know. So you know, if somebody calls in and you're like, what's the stock number? And 2015 white Toyota Corolla pops up. You should be like, oh, okay, this is a 15 white Corolla. I'm very familiar with this car. We got a really good deal on it. We actually took it in for under what it's worth, so we own it at a good price. Did you need information or did you just want to come in? Like, or were you able to come in today? Oh, no, I can't come in today. Probably not up until the weekend. Okay, the only reason I ask is I rather sell it than one of these other 25 sales guys. You know, and that kind of just, it's not pushy, but it's like, okay, he just rather sell it. They just got it in. What do you mean you got it for a good price? Well, we took it in for a good price and then we leave room for our shop bill because we're a big company. So we do a full safety inspection and we replace anything that needs to be done. But this one was in really good condition, so it didn't need much done. And that's just pretty much, oh, okay, small shop bill, they own it for a good price. It's stuff that makes sense that like a client could understand, you know? Yeah.
No, it's amazing how identical to the video you say that. You could tell that you actually say this like every time. Like,
every time, bro.
It's identical to the video.
Every time, yeah.
Amazing, man.
That's funny, yeah. Usually I have to cut a little bit more when I make videos, but I don't know. Yeah, so any questions that you have? Any other ones?
just general question. I know you mentioned luxury dealerships a couple of times. What is your opinion on a luxury dealership versus Toyota, Honda?
I think it's another level, man. I think that if you're a good salesman at one of those dealerships, you're grinding, you're dealing with sharks, you're dealing with younger guys that are trying to snake you and take half your deal, and they're all over the place jumping in front of ups. And then you go to a luxury dealership, you want to find a high volume one. And when you do, I mean, it's just money. It's a bunch of older people, very old. You can run circles around them. The hours are like, I was working 43 hours one week and then 48 when I worked from 12 to 5 on Sunday. So I was working like under 50 hours a week, sometimes 40. And I was making probably like on average like $4,000 a week. So $16,000 a month is like what my paycheck was, 15 to 17, I think. I was tracking like 180 to 200 for the year when I was working there. I mean, the Mercedes I went to was the same company. I just transferred. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the clients, they all have good credit. It's mostly customer service. I mean, you still got to close, but you know, you're getting trade-ins. Like, you know how someone comes in and they're buying a used car and you're pretty sure it's a deal. Imagine if someone calls you and they say, "Hey, do you still have the M4?" You know, because those are the trade-ins, M4s, Audi A7s. These are like rare cars people are looking for, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I still got it. And they're like, great, I'm going to wire you the money. And you take like a wire or something. I mean, and like some people, the internet prices are nuts. So like if you're not making a 5-pounder on that Audi, like they're just going to be like, okay, kick them out. Like everybody's going to pay. Nobody doesn't make money on those. So it's like every dealership, you're not competing with other prices, you know? So I just feel like a lot of money, less hours. It's something I could literally picture like being in sales like for my whole life, working at like a luxury dealership like that. The one I was at was real good. You know, we sold 400 to 500 cars, I think, like max 500 or something. I'm just guessing. I think it was around 400 to 500 though. Mercedes a month, you know, so that's pretty nuts. That's like a Toyota store. Yeah.
That's a lot, yeah. That's even more than my Toyota at the moment. We average probably 200. That's a lot.
Yeah. But I think
that's amazing, man. That's amazing. My only concern was that I feel like that would take away from my advertising, from my Facebook, just because the people that would come in from a Facebook might not be the people that could buy a Mercedes, so to speak.
No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, when you're at a store, where you have to prospect, I've never really had to do it, you know? So people are like, "How do you get traffic? Like, what do you do?" And I'm like, I've always picked a good store, and I'm in internet. Yeah, I'm getting leads and stuff. But I have been at some slow stores, and I have had to make my own traffic. I worked on the floor for 2 years, and you know, I grinded it out in service and stuff like that. So, you know, getting good at stuff that people don't want to do, like talking to people in service. You know, I'd find like a pretty easy way to do that. Just watch what they pull up in. And but then I really got into the volume. I would love to just put on some music, man, sit back and just click text to everybody. To everybody. There's nothing there's no waste of time. You're not uncomfortable. You're not talking to somebody. You know, it's like, it's a hit or miss, you know instantly. You know, so, just, pretty much just putting yourself in their shoes and explaining why you picked that dealership. Why are you selling Toyotas? You know, I looked at Honda, I looked at Nissan, I looked at Hyundai. The reason I picked Toyota is because of the price point, how reliable it is. Even when you're out of warranty, even when it's paid off, if something goes wrong, it's $50 to fix, whatever you want to say. But it's really going to be like, I did my research for you, and this is why I picked Toyota. I'm a car guy. When people are like, I'm not sure like about buying a car, I don't know which one to get, like I'm just gonna keep looking until I'm like confident and secure about buying a car. But when they meet a car guy that did all the research for them, they buy. They're like, okay, he did it for me, I'm ready to go.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty
Sounds
important.
amazing, man. Sounds amazing. Good stuff.
Cool, yeah, and just keep the process out of it as much as possible. I mean, just straight to the car. I don't even do a walk around. I mean, I think you might have heard me say that in my videos.
I heard you mention that a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it shows, high emotions is what's going to sell somebody, so doing a walk around and showing people stuff like the trunk space and the back seat, I don't do that, unless they want to see it. I use my product knowledge not to tell people about the car, but to land them on a car if they tell me a certain package, or if they have a question, I want to be able to answer it. But I'm not going to go into selling every feature on a car. It's going to feel like I'm trying to sell you. I'm just going to, you like the way this one looks? Great. I'm going to grab the keys. Can I get you guys some water? When I worked at Mercedes and I treated people, you have to give them like water, sit them down, treat them like, loyalty or royalty or whatever. In that experience, when you bring that to a Toyota or Nissan, they're like, whoa, this is way different than the other dealership. Like, I'm sitting back, he got me a cold water, I drank it, he asked me if I want another one right after. Like, I just like this, I like this. I feel like I'm being taken care of. So I think that helps definitely a lot.
Yeah. I think also I wanted to add, I think I've sold one car every single week from bringing a bottle of water to customers walking on the lot. So
I bet.
I really wanted to mention that because I heard you mention it a couple times, and it really does work. Because what happens is at my dealership there is not an up system in place, so people just run out on the lot.
Yeah.
And it's like the people around the area, they know that, so they immediately come in defensive. So you go out there, they're like, nah, we're just looking, that kind of thing. But I go out there, 2 bottles of water. Hey, my name is Shaq. Just wanted to give you guys a bottle of water while you look around. If you need any help with anything, I'll point you in the right direction. If you have any questions further than that, my name is Shaq. I'll be inside. I'm here to help you. They come in, and almost 60% of the time, I like to say, they buy the car. So that works really well. So I really
How's credit where you're at?
Say it again?
How's your credit, like in your area? Is the credit okay? Is it rough?
It's pretty good. Most people are good credit or approvable, so to speak.
Okay.
And then, as you know, those who are not so good at credit, we still get them approved, and it works in our favor sometimes too.
Okay, cool. Do you know how to get someone approved with bad credit? Like what kind of car to put them on, or why to put them on that car?
Oh yeah. Yes. So if somebody has bad credit, not a lot of money down, I normally try to switch them to brand new, discounted, use the rebate as money down if they don't have money down, or just go to a car that books out good enough so that I don't have to get too much money from them. So I'm.
Are you pretty? So you're pretty familiar with it. So loan to value.
Yeah.
Do you know what loan to value is and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And that can make a big difference. With interest rate as well. Like I think I said it in one video. I have a lot of videos, so you might have not heard it, but I switched a lady from an SUV that she wanted a pre-owned one. We got her approved, but the payment was super high, right? Because it was pre-owned. So that advance was really high. Are you familiar with advances and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I switched her to a new one. So she was like, MSRP was like 40, and it was an 18 Ram, so it had like 15 grand off. So she was still, after everything, 5 grand under MSRP.
Oh yeah, I remember that video. I absolutely do. I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The interest rate dropped like 12%. And just explaining to somebody, I think the more value that you have, and you can give to people and educate them, like, telling somebody that 2012 you're looking at will be the same payment as a 15, because the 15 is still under warranty. It's reliable. If something happens, the bank knows that it has warranty because we click a little button before we send it to the bank. That means if it breaks down or anything, the bank knows the car gets fixed for free. It's under warranty.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get a better interest rate, if it's certified or whatever. So, and the
Absolutely.
mileage is low and that kind of thing. And then along with your, just to wrap it up real quick, along with your, like, you want to get a bunch of referrals, right?
Yep.
So I think it's very important to just pour value out there, man. Like I would, if you could get people's business cards, you know, and just keep getting people's business cards. Like, hey, do you have a business card? What do you do? Just get it part of your process and have a huge rubber band, you know, of business cards. And I watch these guys do this at Mercedes because they're there 15 years selling cars. And all they would do, they would never call them and ask them about anything like, do you have anybody looking for a car? Nothing like that. They would just say, hey, I had a client, his name was Greg, and he was looking for a home, and I gave him your information. So if you get a call from a guy named Greg, don't be like, who is this guy? I sent him to you. I think he's looking for a home because he didn't want to buy a car yet. And you just kind of like pour that value into him of like, I'm sending you people and I'm not asking for anything back. And that is how you're going to get like a crazy big referral. You know, every time they think about somebody wants a car, you got to go see this guy. He sends me clients, you know, just without even asking.
Wow.
I think that's
awesome, man.
Yep.
That's great. That is great. Definitely have to write that down.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I mean, little things like putting keychains on cars you sold. You know, if you get some really cheap ones, you know, because you sell a lot of cars, and then just have the $100 and your phone number. If they need anything, you know, they'll call you, and then $100 on the back, they'll send you somebody. Yeah, that's kind of like an easy way to not ask for it, but kind of just put it on there. So, but all right, man, I hope you enjoyed the session. I think I'm going to hop on a live stream, so that's like another session after this. So.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, cool,
I'll absolutely be there.
All right, sounds good, brother. Hey, good talking with you, man. Congrats on winning the free session. We got some questions answered, so I hope it helped out.
Thank you so much, Tony. It was awesome.
All right, Shaq. Hey, message me anytime, all right?
No problem, man. Keep doing it.